event. You ladies really know how to party. I'd like to thank my mom for bringing me in tonight. This is much better than the, well, this is better than the last event that she asked me to be a part of. The last time I was asked to come out and participate in an event, it was the Building Excellence Awards. And my mom asked my brother and I, we were both competing professionally at the time, and she asked us if we'd come out. It was a Roman theme. And she asked us if we would be centurion warriors. And I was like, yeah, for sure, I'll do that. And I showed up and I was ready to put on my armor. I guess they didn't wear armor back then. They just had this little leather skirt that they wanted to wear and a spear in my hand. So we stood there half naked for the whole night. So yeah, it's a much better experience for me. And I'll tell you, I'm here to talk about empowerment and confidence. And this is an unlikely group that I'm speaking to, you know, like, I can talk about empowerment and confidence until I'm standing in front of 108 beautiful ladies in that home, but when I see another guy in the group,
one guy.
There we go. What's up, dude? All right. So I'm going to talk to you today. Martha asked me to come in and speak about self-defense and empowerment. And actually, you know, I teach for a living. This is what I do as a full-time job. And 90% of the training that we do is a mental preparation. Now, some of the things that we do, it's not only for self-defense, but feeling empowered and feeling confident. When you enter a room or you walk into a situation, I mean, how many people are indecisive a lot of the time? They don't know what to say. They have a feeling that their gut's telling them something, and you just can't put it together because you don't have the confidence. So what the little framework I'm going to give to you is something that we introduce to every student, all ages and stages, and it helps in a self-defense manner. It can help in a business manner, it can help in a relationship manner, it can help in anything, and it's a pathway to sort of attaining a sense of empowerment. So first of all, most of us operate in a zone which is called the WIC zone, and I mean, how many of us are so busy when it comes to, you know, operating in business, having a family, getting kids places? You're doing a million things, and you're so tied up in your head that, you know, my dad calls it sea flowers on horseback. You're moving so quickly, you are not aware of anything that's going on around you. And I think how many people can relate to that? I mean, we're so busy, we have no clue, you know, what dangers might lie or what situations might pop up. Now, a self-defense situation is rarely, you know, a group of men pulling up in a van, a slider door opening and grabbing you. Usually, you can identify these situations from a mile away. And through this framework, 90% of the time you'll, you know, hopefully never have to use self-defense to get out of a situation that would normally need it, because we're not oblivious. So most of us operate in what is called the WIC zone. Now, once something happens that gives us that gut feeling, where we know something's wrong, and I mean, women have strong intuition, right? So I'm not just talking about, you know, a mugger jumping out of the bush. How many people here travel to other parts of the world? Or you're in a work situation, right? And I mean, this all hits home with us. You know, even leaving the restaurant late at night in downtown Toronto, any one of these situations where something is wrong, something is off. Maybe somebody's, you know, on the street, somebody's belligerent, somebody's following you to your car after a late night at work, you know, and this is where this yellow zone comes in. Now, a lot of us are too busy to listen to our own gut and our own intuition. We don't have time to recognize or be alert or aware of things going on outside of us. So we put it away and we ignore it. And then that develops into a situation where you will need to use self-defense. But if you pay attention to your gut, a lot of times, you know, you can identify these things. And then once we hit something that we call the orange zone. Now the orange zone is an action stage. At this point, I know something is wrong. I start to prepare myself. So, you know, whether it is somebody following you to your car, and you get that gut feeling, that bad feeling. At this stage, this is where you have to follow your gut. And like I said, this is the opportunity when we, like for myself, if I know that something is wrong, I know that somebody's in my face, I know that something is going to happen, I know somebody's following me, whatever it may be, this is an opportunity where I will create more space so I have more time to think. The orange zone is say if it's in a self-defense situation, at that point I start thinking, is this person, so there's travel situations, there's work situations, is this person a sexual predator? Is this person, just angry? Do I have an opportunity to defuse it? Is this person trying to rob me? I mean, if they're trying to rob you, just give me your wallet. But I mean, if it is not just a robbery, if it is somebody that's a predator, if it is somebody that's trying to use intimidation or force their way onto you, or use that kind of danger factor, what are we going to do? How are we going to do this? So I mean, one of the things, if we do know that something bad is going to happen, let's say we jumped into the wrong cab in South America and all of a sudden you get this bad gut feeling. I start to look at what kind of clothes am I wearing, what kind of people are around. I mean, if I'm walking in my car at night, I'm trying to think, where are my keys? Where is my cell phone? You can't run away in high heels, right? You try to run away, well, some guy's after you trying to pull you to the ground. So you look at these types of things. And I mean, if we pay attention to this orange zone, at this point in time, you can be 10 steps ahead and ever have to, avoid using any sort of self-defense. Now that yellow zone, the yellow zone that we talked about with your gut feeling. Now confidence is bred through preparation. We all know that. I can't walk into a math test and not study and feel confident about it. Just like I can't come up here and talk to you guys about construction and be confident about what I'm talking about. I can talk to you about self-defense because I know it through and through and I'm prepared for it. Now, if you've never visited this or visualized a situation in your mind, how can you possibly feel confident with it? So through through preparation comes confidence. So I invite you now, as I'm talking about these scenarios, and you can relate to these scenarios, you start to think, what would I do in these situations? And as you start to pass through that orange zone, you start to look at, would I know what to say? Now, if somebody is bothering me, if somebody's in my face, I don't tell them what I think, I tell them how I feel. Look, you're making me feel uncomfortable. This is where voice control comes into play. If somebody's a predator and you say, please leave me alone, sir, they're going to get more powerful. But you know what? My mom has never had to use self-defense. It's because she scares the crap out of everybody. And she used to say to me, I don't get it. I've never been in a fight in my entire life. How come you guys come home bloody every single weekend? And it's because she never had to use it. My mom has a certain way about her. She's assertive. She's prepared. She's smart. But when she talks, people don't want to mess around with her. Just like with a predator. They don't want to fight. They don't want to fight. As hard as they come on to you, if you show them that you will not be a victim, then they can't be a predator. You take their power away from them. So at this point, you speak about what you feel. You project your voice. If somebody is standing close to you, trying to intimidate you, you take a step back and you lead with your strong side backwards. Now, before I get in, I'm not going to get into a whole bunch of self-defense techniques. But at this point in time, if you look directly at somebody and you tell them exactly how you feel, you can have confidence in that because you've learned to listen to your gut. And when you listen to your gut, you can speak about how you feel. So that's empowering in itself. And if you've never thought about this, how many people are indecisive when they really want to say something but they can't? This kind of practice and this kind of, you can practice going into the yellow zone anywhere you are. I was in the yellow zone on the drive here with Emily. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. You're driving great. I'm just kidding. So this is the exciting stage. The next stage I'm going to talk about. Hold on, make sure I didn't miss anything. Right, the next stage I'm going to talk about is the red zone. The red zone is fight or flight. So anything that you decide to do in a self-defense situation, in a business situation, in a problem, and you decide, I'm going to defend myself, or I am going to run as fast as I can, you don't go halfway, you don't go in the middle of the road. If you're going to defend yourself, you kick, you punch, you scream, you make as much noise as you can, you become as vocal as possible, you put up the biggest fight. The longer you fight, and the harder you fight, the more doubt you put in the mind of a predator. The more you kick and punch and scream, the less confidence they have. You steal that confidence. And having this knowledge can help empower you as well too. The harder you fight, the longer you prolong the fight, the higher probability that somebody's going to give up. Somebody's going to intervene, or you're going to seriously injure the attacker, hopefully. right? So this is that fight or flight. Now the power of commitment is incredible. When you decide to commit to something wholeheartedly and 100%, you can do anything. You can come up stronger than you ever thought that you could. And today, my mom, Martha, has asked me to do a special demonstration, and I figured that this is very fitting since this is, women in construction. I'm going to do a performance or a demonstration of commitment through self-defense, and it ties in with martial arts, but it also ties into construction. So, at the front here, Curtis